The first night the scratching started, Mara thought it was pipes. Her apartment was old. Walls whispered. Radiators clicked. Scratching fit right in. It came from behind the bedroom wall, soft, deliberate. Scratch, pause. Scratch. It stopped eventually. She slept. The second night it lasted longer. When she pressed her ear to the wall, the sound shifted, like it knew she was listening. The scratches climbed until they were level with her ear. "Rats," she said. Saying it out loud helped. But rats didn't scratch in patterns. The third night it knocked. 3 careful taps from inside the wall. Tap. 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 "Stop," she whispered. It did. By morning, a thin crack ran along the baseboard. The landlord promised to send someone next week. She didn't believe him. That night, she dreamed someone was whispering her name. On the 4th night, she was awake when it happened. Mara. Her name slid through the wall, wrong and stretched. The crack widened, splitting like a smile. Wet breathing leaked out. Then fingers pushed through, pale, too long, bending where they shouldn't. They scraped blindly, searching. Mara ran. She never went back. A week later, police forced the door open after neighbors complained about the smell. The bedroom wall had been torn apart from the inside, hollowed into a nest. They didn't find Mara. They found her phone on the nightstand, still charging. The last message on the screen read, "I'm inside now." The baby monitor turned on by itself at 2:17 a.m. Emma stared at the glowing screen on her nightstand. The nursery camera showed the crib empty and still. Her daughter was sleeping beside her, one hand curled around Emma's finger. From the speaker came a soft sound. Breathing. Emma held her own breath. The camera slowly tilted downward, though no one had touched it, until it faced the dark space beneath the crib. Something pale shifted there. "Mark," she whispered, shaking her husband. "The monitor." Before he could answer, a voice came through the speaker. Not a baby's. "Mommy?" Emma grabbed her daughter and ran. She didn't stop until they were in the car, doors locked, engine screaming awake. They never went back. The house was sold within a month. The new owners removed the baby monitor, laughing about faulty wiring. 3 weeks later, their monitor turned on at 2:17 a.m. The camera pointed beneath the crib. And this time, it showed a woman crouched in the dark, smiling at something just out of frame. She whispered softly, "There you are." Every night at 11:58, the hallway light turned on. Lena had tried everything. New bulbs, new switches, even shutting off the breaker before bed. At 11:58, the light still came on, glowing under her bedroom door like a watchful eye. At first, she laughed it off. Then she started hearing footsteps. They never moved closer. They paced the hallway slowly, stopping just outside her door. Always at midnight. Always silent afterward. One night, she worked up the courage to open the door. The hallway was empty. The light hummed softly. On the wall, written in black marker she didn't own, were the words, "Don't open it tomorrow." She scrubbed the wall until her hands bled. The words came back by morning. The next night, at 11:57, her phone buzzed. A notification from her own number. "It's behind you tonight." The hallway light clicked on. Lena stayed in bed, staring at the door as the knob slowly turned. At 12 o'clock exactly, the light shut off. Silence. She didn't sleep. In the morning, she found a new message carved into the wood of her door, letters deep and careful. "Thank you for not looking." That night, the hallway light stayed off. Lena smiled, relief washing over her. She didn't notice the shadow standing quietly at the foot of her bed, grateful she had finally learned. New follower. Username, Euphergon. She frowned. The profile picture was her childhood bedroom door, peeling blue paint, the crooked star sticker she'd ripped off years ago. She hadn't posted that anywhere. She tapped the profile. No posts. Join today. Bio, I watched you grow. Her phone buzzed again. DM, do you remember what you promised? Mara blocked the account, heart racing. Probably a prank. A hack. She set the phone face down and tried to sleep. At 2:18, it buzzed again. New follower. Username, still watching. The profile picture updated before her eyes. Now it was her, taken from behind, sitting on her bed, staring at her phone. Her breath caught. She didn't turn around. Notifications flooded in. Likes, comments, tags. Her feed refreshed on its own. A new post appeared, uploaded from her account. It was a live video. The caption read, she finally noticed. The comments scrolled faster than she could read. Turn around. We can see him now. Don't look at the mirror. Her phone vibrated violently, heating in her hands. The follower count climbed. Hundreds. Thousands. Each profile blank, each username a variation of her own name. The live video zoomed in. Behind her, in the dark reflection of the black phone screen, someone smiled. And the comments exploded with hearts. The road through the Eastern Cape was empty except for dust, and the sound of insects screaming in the heat. Tabo drove faster than he should have, ignoring the old sign half buried in sand. Do not stop after dark. His phone had lost signal an hour ago. When the engine died, the silence felt immediate and wrong, as if the land itself had been waiting. That was when he heard the whistle. Soft. Human. Too close. From the tall grass stepped a man wrapped in a torn blanket, his feet bare, his eyes reflecting moonlight like an animal's. He smiled without warmth. You should not travel here at night, the man said. His voice echoed, though the land was flat. Tabo locked the doors. The man tilted his head, listening, not to Tabo, but to something behind him. The grass moved. More figures rose, their joints bending the wrong way, their mouths stretched wide with old teeth and dried blood. Their whistles joined together, a sound once used to guide cattle, now used to lure travelers. Tabo remembered his grandmother's stories too late. The Tokalash walks when people forget the old ways. Hands pounded the windows. The engine turned over once, twice, then died again. The last thing Tabo saw was the man's smile widening as the earth seemed to swallow the road, erasing it as if it had never existed. By morning, the sun revealed nothing but grass. And the sign was gone. The ocean learned my name the night the radio went silent. I was alone on the trawler, drifting under a moon smeared thin as bone. The sonar clicked once, then stopped. In the sudden quiet, the water began to move, not with waves, but with breathing. Long, patient breaths that rocked the hull in time with my heart. I leaned over the rail. Below me, something vast rolled just out of sight, its shadow darker than the sea itself. The water rose, cupping the boat, and a voice pressed into my skull like cold thumbs. You have sailed over me for years, it said. You have taken and taken. The surface broke. Eyes opened, too many, scattered across a shape that had no edges. Barnacles clung to them like old scars. I tried to scream, but the ocean inhaled. When the Coast Guard found the trawler at dawn, it was empty. The logbook was soaked, ink blurred, except for one line carved deep into the wood. Returned.